presented by wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name. Here we fucking go! Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
'Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold Simpson!
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the ICW Podcast. That's right, presented by Wrestling Matters. It is me, it's at H-E-A to that D, here with another installment of this podcast. Hope you've enjoyed the previous episode. Hope you enjoyed the Wrestling Matters podcast yesterday. And here we go with another installment of the ICW Podcast. Now, I did Dave's Not Here Man last week, so we're going to go back to the 4-week Fringe show, 2015 Fringe show that is, which was this time around. Now it's time for something completely different, which took place August 19th. And it kicked off with Damo going one-on-one with Dickie Divers. Now, not really much to say in this match, quite frankly, because let's face it, and Divers says it in a backstage interview, Dickie Divers got the shit kicked out of him, basically, by Big Damo. And the quickness was with Dickie, not that he was able to use it, he was only able to use it on certain occasions, because this whole match was dominated by one Damo. A slap to Damo by Divers basically pissed him off. And 3 hard clotheslines, basically was one clothesline, pin, pulled him up, another clothesline, pin, pulled him up, and then another clothesline, pin, and he gets the win for it. And Damo cut on a promo saying that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically, Divers got the shit kicked out of him, basically. And it was just dominated performance by Damo, quite frankly. And I'll get to Divers later on when he talks about his little backstage interview thing that he did. I'll get to that later. Damo says he beat the man at ICW Shug's house party, but, well, we all know what happened at Shug's house party too, and he just cut a promo talking about it. The Rogers brothers were backstage talking about their match with Irn Jew. More on that later. And then we get to wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, wrestling. A wrestling match which took place between Jack Gallagher and Mikey Whiplash of Legion. Now, these two, great, solid match, epic, just a great 13 to 15 minute wrestling match, quite frankly, which was ruined. I'll get to that in a second. Series of near falls. There was a lot of train wrestling between the two. Good fundamentals. Mat wrestling. A lot of Jack Gallagher stretching Mikey Whiplash on the mat, and vice versa. Jack working on the arm during this match as well of Mikey. He seemed to be pickpointing the arm. And then what was a great 13 to 15 minute wrestling match basically turned south for Mr. Whiplash because Stevie Boy distracted Mikey and Chris came in, hit him with the briefcase, and Jack Gallagher got the victory. So 2 great wrestlers going at it for a good 13 to 15 minutes. And it gets ruined by the NAK, but obviously the NAK wanted payback for what happened last time I did, on the last show that I reviewed, which was 2 weeks ago, before I did the Dave's Not Here Man. You know, the show where the NAK took a fucking beat down by the Legion. More on that another day. You know, tune into the previous episode for that. Now, Mikey shows respect to Jack Gallagher and challenges Jack for one more match next time he's in town in ICW. So basically, great match. I would say 3.5 on this occasion. I think these two could have had more time, and I'll be looking forward to seeing the rematch, basically, because I know Jackson don't want to turn the match down, so I know these two could have a rematch at some point. It's just a case of when. Now, Noam backstage talking about his match with Jack Jester. DCT cuts a promo on the 55 about what happened at the wedding. Calls out Bram. You can see that same promo. I will put it in the description underneath. You can see that same promo on ICW's online YouTube page. It is on there. Be sure to check that out. And speaking of DCT, before I get to DCT, Darius was backstage, very angry with himself, and he's questioning his role in the company because, well, at Square Goal he won the Square Goal briefcase thing. Fast forward to Shug's House Party 2, he ends up losing it to Chris Renfrew, and no matter how much he does, how much he tries to promote ICW, he basically gets the shit kicked out of him, what happened with Damo at the beginning of the show. So he's not very happy. He's had enough of ICW, and he says he wants to renew his position in the company. Anyway, on to DCT versus Michael Chase. Now, Michael Chase makes his debut in this one, and Chase slaps DCT, bad move, and at the beginning, and just basically pisses DCT off. These two had a good little match, quite frankly, and Mr. Chase had a very, very good outing for his debut in ICW, but I believe, from what I saw, DCT didn't see Michael Chase in the ring. I believe DCT saw nothing but 55, because he's hunting the 55 down after what happened at the wedding at Shug's House Party 2. All in all, a good little match, and probably my favourite moment of the match is DCT actually winning, because he beats Michael Chase with the transmission, or as it's pronounced, Kata Hajime, and quite frankly that's one of my favourite moves I like to use as well, and I usually use that as well when I'm playing SmackDown or WWE 2K15, or where I used to play SmackDown vs Raw, but they don't use that on WWE 2K15 anymore because Taz is not in the company, although there is rumours he's coming back to be a commentator again, now he's left TNA, but we'll have to wait and see on that one then. But all in all, good little outing for Michael Chase. I thought he did very well in the match. Showed some great wrestling and basically kept up with DCT. But DCT has got tunnel vision at this moment. That tunnel vision is 55. And proceeds to cut a promo saying he doesn't know where, he doesn't know when, but all he wants is Bram. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. All in all, good little match. I'd give that a 3 out of 5 for me. Now, Nikki Storm backstage talks about her ICW Women's Title Tournament match, which is coming up later on. And then the NAK takeover. They actually played top 5 ICW moments. And also you could see that on the YouTube page, ICW online YouTube page. I will leave that in the description on SoundCloud and YouTube, so be sure to check that out. I mean, you play that and you already played it. I mean, that's supposed to be a YouTube show, that, isn't it? At least I thought it was. But anyway, it's not a on-demand show, but they played that during the break and everything. I don't know. But anyway, it's still good to see anyway, and like I say, it is on the ICW YouTube page, so be sure to check that out. The NAK come in, they talk about Legion, remind everyone that even though they weren't supposed to be there that evening, card subject to change. And then Stevie Boy proceeds to call out Davey Boy rather, because Davey Boy called him out. He was there looking for a fight apparently. Davey Boy wasn't around. And all of that, ladies and gentlemen, led to what I believe was the main event of the first hour, of the first half of the show, which was for the number 1 contendership to the ICW tag team titles, and the champions being Polo Promotions, of course. And it was the Rogers brothers against everybody's favourite tag team. That's right, Irn Jew, which is Grado and kilq. Now, Irn Jew just mocked the heck out of these guys in the first 5 minutes of the match, repeating everything they say, not taking this match seriously and just entertaining themselves, which was fucking hilarious. And one of my favourite moments in the match, I have to talk about this, is Irn Jew were double teaming one of the Rogers brothers. They were double teaming, and kilq called out a double elbow. A double boot first. Whips him to the ropes, bounces back off. Colt hits him with the boot. Apparently Grado hits him with the elbow. Goes for it again. Double elbow. Bumps it back off. Cabana hits him with the elbow. Grado hits him with the boot. And then he falls face first into the second turnbuckle. hilarious stuff. It really was. I found it thoroughly entertaining and some great wrestling in this tag match as well. When we eventually got down to the serious business, Irn Jew showing why they are former ICW tag team champions, and Grado being Grado, as well as Coco as well. Rogers showing great teamwork as well. Rogers are no slouches, man. Smash Mouth, great tag team at its best for these, and I really loved them. And all in all, it was a great tag match. Polo Promotions watching this backstage because the winner of this match would meet the champions. I believe it's next show. I'll have to check that. But all in all, a great tag team match which ended with a GTS and a wee boot combination, and Irn Jew get the victory, and they will meet Polo Promotions for the tag belts. Thoroughly entertaining wrestling tag team match. I believe the wrestling part of it came from the Rogers brothers, although Irn Jew did show they were a good team. And I'll give this a 4 out of 5 actually, because I thought it was hilarious. And Irn Jew being former tag team champions, and even though Grado has challenged the ICW champion for Fear and Loathing, which has been granted, by the way. If you've seen ICW online and that, you will know. But yeah, all in all, great tag match, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next show when you see Irn Jew versus Polo Promotions, and I already know what happened, so but I'm not going to give the game away. Right, with that being said, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages, I will be back after this quick time out with part 2 of this show, so stay tuned. Be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday for the Progress Wrestling Podcast. That's right, each and every week on Wednesdays, for the time being at least, I will be reviewing their shows from their on-demand service, Demand Progress. So be sure to check out the hottest promotion to come out of London. That's right, it's Progress Wrestling. This is Progress. This is a podcast on Progress. Every Wednesday on SoundCloud, YouTube, OSW TV, and every other podcasting site that matters. Be sure to check it out. Wrestling matters, wrestling fans. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows. Oh my God! Whoa! Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name.
Welcome, you lovely, lovely people, back to part 2 of this ICW podcast, presented by Wrestling Matters, of course. Hope you all enjoyed this podcast so far, and, without further ado, we'll get right into it. We'll get into part 2. Now, part 2 kicked off with Joe Coffey coming out, cutting a promo, very frustrated about Drew Gallagher coming every 2 months and him not getting a shot at the championship, and hell, calls Drew Gallagher a paper champion and even contemplates retirement. GM comes out, does his usual routines and abuses power and all that, and then mocks Coffey a bit, but allows him the chance, because next show, which I'll review next week, the third night of the Fringe, he's scheduled to wrestle Drew Gallagher one-on-one in non-title. But Mr. Lightning upped the ante a little bit and said, if you can beat Drew Gallagher, you'll get a title shot. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I haven't seen that one yet, so we'll have to wait and see if he got the shot. Up next, as far as wrestling goes, Noam Da one-on-one with Jack Jester. Yes, Red Lightning was still there, abusing his power as usual, thinking he's the big shot. Yes, he's the general manager, but he forgets he answers to Mark Dallas. But the match went on, and it wasn't really that much of a match in terms, because at the beginning of the match, for the first, say, 2, maybe 3-4 minutes, Jester spent more time drinking than wrestling. He was more going in and out, and eventually, when eventually got down to it, Jester ended up attacking Dar from behind, and every time Dar tries to get on offense, Jester goes up the ring. Now, don't get me wrong, they're smart, slowing the pace down to his size, but it was frustrating Dar. But when they eventually got on, yes, there was some wrestling ability from Dar, but I felt Jester dominated most of this match, because at times during the match, Dar spent more time worrying about Red Lightning at the commentary position, even though he wasn't on commentary. And my favourite point in the match is every time, Red Lightning got involved, as you would expect, and Dar couldn't take it anymore. Sorry, I had a bit of a hiccup there. Dar couldn't take it anymore, so he went and got a chair and went to hit Red Lightning with it. And every time that happens, he comes up with some excuses, like Power says, "You won't be at the ACC show, yada yada yada." All these pussy threats, as he calls. And because of the distraction, that caused Jack Jester to win by Tombstone, which is the drop to the dungeon. Story after the match was Jester put a beat down him and Red Lightning. They put a beat down on Dar. Damo comes out to save Dar. Drew's on the screen, cuts a promo, says he's going to come out and fight Damo. Then they mock him and play mind games again and say that he's not there. Jester hits Damo with a chair after he turned around, and they choke him with the ring rope. They actually tore the ring apart and choked him with the ring rope. Other than that was about it really for that match. I would give that a 3 because it wasn't really that much of a match for me. Yes, there was some wrestling in it and everything, but I've seen better matches in that, but it was mainly about, the feud, which I believe led to 1 week later. I think they were building this. This match was like a build-up for Red Lightning and Noam Dar, because Red Lightning and Noam Dar actually faced on night 3, and I use that term loosely. But anyway, I'll give it a 3 out of 5, and I'll move on. Michael Chase is backstage, not happy with the fact they had to face DCT, despite the fact that he was meant to wrestle Liam Thompson, but Liam Thompson was injured, and declares that he's going to go for the Zero-G title. But did declare also that he actually put an effort in, which he did. He did very well for himself, not bad for his debut. And like I say, declares that he wants the Zero-G title. Now, for a match in the Women's Championship Tournament, which was Nikki Storm one-on-one with Debbie Sharpe, and yes, Sammy Jane was at ringside. This was in the women's division. It wasn't really that much of a match. Women's Raz. Yes, there was some great wrestling. Debbie Sharpe got her offense in, and Nikki, but the numbers game, Nikki showed that she is a great wrestler. It's just a shame TNA didn't see that. With suplexes, a great neck breaker in the match. But, Sammy spent most of the time getting involved on Nikki's behalf, and it eventually came in where Debbie had a beat. Referee counted 2. Sammy got up and distracted the referee, and then one thing led to another, and Nikki hits the Eye of the Storm to advance. I would have to give this match a 2.5, to be honest with you. That's about as nice it's going to get, because it wasn't really that much of a match, and plus the numbers game really got to Debbie Sharpe, and I think it was just a way to put Nikki over, to be honest with you, because out of the two, I mean, no offense to Debbie Sharpe, she looked good and she looked great in the match, but Nikki's the star of this one, and she has the more experience, and it was right for her to advance in the semi-final. Be interesting to see who she gets, so I would have to give this a 2.5, to be honest with you. I thought it was poor, but it could have been better. It wasn't the greatest women's match I've seen in ICW, but 2.5 is about as nice as I'm going to get. And we all know Nikki is a great wrestler. She proved in this match, and she could probably have better matches with better people. But like I say, it was a women's title match, so a women's title tournament match, so you won't expect much. Main event was the SDS. I almost say STDs there. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I've had one of them days today, guys. I've had one of them days. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. But, I nearly said that. Oh, God, Bennett, where's my head at? I've had... I genuinely have had a bad day today, guys. I've had a hectic day as far as working on other projects for you guys and all that on my Wrestling Matters channel and that. I'm in a man of my own. But anyway, back to this. SDS rather, Sumerian Death Squad, I can't even say it. SDS, there you go. Sumerian Death Squad, Polo Promotions for the tag team titles. And they got this by beating the NAK. SDS, that is, Sumerian Death Squad. First 5 minutes, it was mat wrestling between Tommy and Mark. Two great teams really going at it, showing that they are two of the best teams in the company. Polo Promotions being the number 1 team in the company because they are the tag team champions, of course. Like I say, first 5 minutes was with Tommy and Mark, some mat wrestling, some beautiful mat wrestling between the two. Almost nearly turned into UFC stuff as well. And like I said, both teams just showed great wrestling, great, even offense basically, because both teams matched each other early on. The later part of the match, it was all Sumerian Death Squad. They isolated Mark Coffey and showed great teamwork and great double teams wrestling, and pretty much dominated the match towards the end. And then the Polos came in, Polo slams galore, even Jackie Polo even slammed Michael Dante, which is not an easy side because Michael Dante is a beast and he's a big guy. And a great tag match, which was about 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, came to the point where the NAKA distracted them, and at one point as well, Sumerian Death Squad were close to winning the tag titles, but NAKA distracted. They grabbed out of Dante, beat the hell out of him on the outside, which allowed Polo Promotions to get the victory by using the finish. Great tag team match. Understandable why the NAKA got involved because of the feud, the building up the feud, but overall not bad for 10 to 15 minutes of a tag team main event, which was quite possibly what it was. So I would give that a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Chris and Stevie attacked Dante, and then Polo Promotions with gorgeous Jennifer Louise give their post-match interview and that, and then go off for their party. So, finish the stag do. Apparently the stag do wasn't finished, apparently. Longest stag do I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, all in all, good show. That was night 2. Night 3 will be reviewed next week, and for night 2, I will give a 4 out of 5 for it, because it was actually a pretty much well set out show. So be interested to see what happens on night 3, and I'll be reviewing that next week. So until then, guys, hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Let me know. You can see it, you can hear it on SoundCloud, YouTube, and all good stuff as well. I've got a few things in the pipeline that I'm working on as far as affiliates go. I will let you know on the upcoming episode of the Wrestling Madness podcast, episode 75. Be sure to check out episode 74. Also check out my review video that I did on Monday Night Raw as well. Big thank you to everybody who supported the other videos as well that I've done, the SummerSlam review and all that. Good, bad, whatever, you talked about it. It's got over 1,000 views as we speak. And 3 likes, 3 dislikes, but hey, we agree to disagree. That's why we're wrestling fans, guys, and I got no problem with that whatsoever. The fact of the matter is, what I like is the fact that you took time to take an interest in it, which makes me a happy man. And it's actually one of my best videos as well, that SummerSlam and Raw reviews as well, so there'll be more in the pipeline. And also check out the Raw from August 31st as well. And for more information on the videos and more videos as well, check out the Facebook page of the Wrestling Matters podcast, facebook.com/WM podcast. Share, like, do all that good stuff. We're all wrestling fans, and we're proud of it. Tune in next week for another installment of the ICW podcast. Tune in tomorrow for the Chapter 10 Progress Wrestling podcast. Oh my god, if only you've seen what I've seen. Also, check out ICW On Demand. Go to insanewrestling.co.uk, I believe that is. If that's wrong, I apologize, but go to the ICW website, go to the Progress Wrestling website as well, and check out the good quality wrestling that I'm reviewing, because you're missing out. All in all, my name is Anthony Walker, bidding you a good night, and enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! Yes! 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 That's 13-14! Dina, I am the best in the world.
'Cause that's the bottom line! 'Cause Stone Cold Simpson!